Welcome to Music Radio Creative Live. I'm Mike Russell.
Today, we're going to explore the possibility of text-to-speech for audio producers.
One day,
in the future,
replace voice Ooh, hello there. Yes, now it's working. Audio is here. Thank you, Anthony Hall, for the wonderful super chat. We have a super chat in the house already. Really appreciate it, Anthony. Thank you for that. So here we are live. Hopefully you heard the sound on the video I pre-produced at the start with the text-to-speech, but my microphone needed to be on, so now it's all working. Welcome to the show. We're going deep into text-to-speech in this episode. Very excited to show you some of the opportunities and options for audio producers and how it works inside Adobe Audition. Before we get stuck in, if you'd like to sound your best, go to mrc.fm/presets and grab my Adobe Audition presets. They're over there. They're available right now. These are the presets and the template that I use every single day in the multi-track of Adobe Audition to make my audio sound great and to produce jingles and all kinds of creative audio. Now, these presets are for you if you're a voiceover artist, if you're somebody who's creating creative audio, if you work as a pastor and you want to make your own jingles and intros and outros, then these presets are for you. It includes one Adobe Audition CC session, that's .sesx file, with all the presets included, plus 12 video tutorials that will show you exactly how those presets work. mrc.fm/presets. Isabella has been good enough to post it in the chat, and I will get into your chats in about, well, just under 15 minutes from now. So get your chats in now, and I'll be mentioning them on the show very soon indeed. Super chats on YouTube, always very much appreciated, and I give top priority to anybody who places a super chat. Right, so text-to-speech. Let me just go back and play that video again. Not that one, but this one. Hopefully you'll hear it.
Welcome to Music Radio Live. I'm Mike Russell.
Today, we're going to explore the text-to-speech for audio producers
and how it could possibly
one
voice over artist. Yeah, now I'm hoping that that all sounds perfect to you. So a little bit choppy on the audio. We're having audio issues today. That's very strange. Looks okay from my end. Let me just check and see if everything is okay. I know my audio interface has been having a little bit of an issue recently. That's why, hopefully, from tomorrow or Friday, I am upgrading, and I'll tell you all about that audio interface. But let's get straight into it right now. Hopefully, the audio and the visuals are pretty good. So let's get into this with text-to-speech now. So what did I do to start with? Well, I created something in Premiere Pro, and this is my original voice here. Welcome to Music Radio Creative Live. That's nice. And then here is the bot, the text-to-speech synthesis lady.
Welcome to Music Radio Creative Live. I'm Mike Russell.
It's all rather scary. What can you do with Premiere Pro, Adobe Audition, and a bit of text-to-speech? If I go over into Adobe Audition, I'll show you how I lined up that text-to-speech so nicely because it was rather fun. It might actually be that the audio is choppy because I've got Premiere Pro and lots of little things open. So what I'll do is I'll shut down Premiere Pro and save on resources here. Obviously, the audio was a bit choppy on that, so I'll have to play you that video later on. Or I could just stick it out here on the live stream right now. So here we have the original audio, which is over here. Welcome to Music Radio Creative Live. And then we have the text-to-speech that I generated through Google's text-to-speech.
Welcome to Music Radio Creative Live.
And as you can see, these audio waveforms don't quite line up nicely. Now, I could do a bit of time stretch, kind of like that, but the speech isn't necessarily, that's pretty much a good alignment. I mean, let's have a listen to the bot and my real voice together and see how that sounds.
Welcome to Music Radio Creative Live.
Actually, that is not a bad sync at all, but Adobe Audition actually natively has this fantastic feature that you can do if you just click both of these audio files here, right-click, and then go Automatic Speech Alignment. This is a relatively new feature. It's been around about a year or so now, and you can choose the reference clip. So in this case, I'm going to choose MRC Live Intro.mov. That's the audio from my video file, and I'm going to align it to my unaligned clip, which is this MRC Live Intro TTS text-to-speech. All you need to do is just click OK, and boom. It will literally make the speech bot fit what you were saying. That's how you can do that crazy syncing, which is crazy, right? It's absolutely crazy what you can do with this. And let's compare those together now.
Welcome to Music Radio Creative Live.
So I am actually talking in sync with myself, which is pretty amazing, if you ask me. But let's get into some of the options available for audio producers before we start using these options. I'm actually going to go into the waveform view now and create a new audio file. And I will start recording. I'll just start rolling now. And you'll notice no audio is recording right now in the waveform view of me talking. And the reason for that is I've set up my inputs in a certain way deliberately. If you're on a Mac, you go into Audition, Preferences, Audio Channel Mapping. And at the moment, I'm using a Sapphire audio interface. I think it's on its last legs, but it's working at the moment. I've had it a good few years. In fact, I think I've had it since we've been on the Isle of Wight, which is about even before the Isle of Wight. So I've had it. It must be it's nearly a decade now, pretty much. So that little box has lasted a long time. If you want to know how long Focusrite Sapphire Pros last for, fairly long. But yes, so what I'm doing is recording on loop 1 and loop 2 here. As you can see, loop 1 on the left or mono channel and loop 2 on the right channel in Adobe Audition. And if I want to record my microphone, I can use a Sapphire input. So I've got 2 Heil PR40s on input 1 and 2, and I've got this one right here, the Audio Technica AT4033, which is on input 3 and 4. Actually, it's a stereo out from the DBX 286S I have in my chain. Isabella's saying, I think I had this audio interface since 2009. Wow. So yeah, it has lasted nearly a decade. So good service, time to upgrade. So we got the loop all set up. Let's start recording as I rifle through some of these text-to-speech options. So why are we looking into text-to-speech? Well, let's start with the big one, of course, Google. It is amazing how far text-to-speech technology has come and how much fun you can actually have with it. So, for instance, here I've got this from earlier.
Welcome to Music Radio Creative Live. I'm Mike Russell.
Yeah, there's definitely something going on with the audio today, isn't there? She sounds drunk. Let's change that around to the best hits ... only on your radio station. Hit FM and see how that comes out. And it's actually given me a nice auto suggestion, which is interesting. Hits FM. Google Auto Suggest knows radio station names. How exciting.
The best hits, only on your radio station. Hit FM.
So there you go. Now, one of the things you'll notice with Google and a lot of the other text-to-speech options is the audio quality is not really that fantastic. I mean, you can hear it's wishy-washy, the sound, kind of like you've applied too much audio reduction to it. And yeah, I would say the bit rate of it is not high quality. But let's take a look at other alternatives so that we can judge for ourselves what is good. And I'm going to go on to Amazon Poli now, which I'll just give you a heads up. I think Amazon Poli is absolutely fantastic. I mean, really, really good. Amazon Poli is not free. Amazon Poli is quite a recent invention of Amazon Web Services. I think it came about sort of late last year, and they did a big keynote video about how Amazon Poli is taking text-to-speech to a new level because you can type things into it like weather in WA is 103F, and then Amazon Poli will recite back to you weather in Washington is 103 Fahrenheit. So really, really cool stuff. Being used for all of Amazon's text-to-speech stuff. It's actually, I think it's somehow related to Amazon Alexa as well, but Amazon Poli is kind of like a web service. You can get it through the AWS panel, Amazon Web Services panel, and actually if you sign up to it, it is, well, just search for Amazon Poli. That's the best way to find it. Yeah, it's actually free, I believe, for a year. The Amazon Poli free tier includes 5 million characters per month for speech or speech marks requests for the first 12 months, starting from the first request for speech. I started using this probably the start of this year or late last year. So I've still got a lot of time left on my free tier plan. But then after that, it's pay as you go, $4 for 1 million characters of speech requests. So that's quite a few words for your $4. So really the pricing's very competitive. But you might say, why would I use Amazon Poli? Because I've got Google, which is free, and I've got these other ones here in other tabs on my web browser that are potentially also free. So why Amazon Poli? Well, let's listen to the audio quality. Let's go for an English Australian. We've got Russell, who's a male. Let's say, "G'day, how you going?" Because that's what Aussies say, right? Listen to it.
"G'day, how you going?"
Yeah, that wasn't typically Australian in my opinion. Let's try the female.
"G'day, how you going?"
Yeah, a little bit robotic if you ask me, but I quite like the English-British voice, Amy. And actually we use Amy around the house with the kids and such like. Dinner is ready, comma, head to the kitchen. So I've got Amazon Poli plumbed into my home automation system so that when I need to call the kids or when Isabella needs to call the kids for dinner, we just push a button and this happens.
"Dinner is ready. Head to the kitchen."
Which is absolutely fantastic because none of our kids ever argue when the house tells them to do something. When it's us, it's like 5 times. "I told you dinner's ready! Come into the kitchen!" So definitely if you've got kids...
"Dinner is ready. Head to the kitchen."
That is what you want to be doing. I found Amy to be the most friendly, but you've got Emma.
"Dinner is ready. Head to the kitchen."
Or Brian, a more authoritative male.
"Dinner is ready. Head to the kitchen."
A little bit too strong. So we went for Amy. But that, of course, is for one purpose. You might use it for audio production. So playing power hits, a non-stop music mix on Power FM. And we'll listen to the speech.
"Playing power hits. A non-stop music mix. On Power FM."
The FM didn't sound too good. Let's try Brian out.
"Playing power hits. A non-stop music mix. On Power FM."
Okay, download MP3. And let's actually get behind the hood of that MP3. Just going to just save what I need here.
Come to me.
That was weird.
The best hit.
the best hits, and we've got just a few Amazon Polis. Let's have a look over here. So we downloaded that, and Amazon throws out an MP3, which is pretty cool. Here it is, speech, and then it's got some date tag on there. So let's have a look at what we've got here. So we've got speech that's generated at a 22,050 hertz, which is half what I usually work in for audio production, what I advise you to work in, which is 44,100 hertz. It's a mono file, which is fine because it's just speech, so we're not doing anything crazy here. 32-bit float, and the MP3, the source format is MP3 48 kbps CBR. So as you can see, it's really, really low quality, and I imagine Google's text-to-speech to be exactly the same, low quality. We can do some stuff to pimp it up in the multi-track in a minute and add some EQ and make it sound better. So we'll do that. We'll also look at some of the other text-to-speech options out there and see if we can find anything that's better quality. But first, 15 minutes into the show, every 15 minutes during the show, I like to mention your comments, give shout-outs to you, and answer any questions you have. So if you have any questions, ask them now at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Fire into the Facebook live chat, as many as you have done already, at facebook.com/musicradiocreative. We're also out on Periscope and Twitch too. So let's start first with Facebook Live, and yeah, we've got a lot of comments there about the sound quality from Andy and Rab. Andy is wondering whether I've referred to Adobe Audition session files as .sex files. No, SESX, but it's close, isn't it? And what else have we got here? Let's head over and look at Martina says hi. Fernando is in Kansas City. Amir's watching. Hi to Peter from Truro in the UK. We got Scott Sprague as well, who's watching from Virginia. It's my pleasure to do this. Hassan is watching. We've got Leva from Madagascar. Christopher in there. Caddo is in. Thanks, Caddo, for being there. Thank you so much for the super chat today, Anthony Hall. Really appreciate that. David Lewis is in. Kevin's here as well. What else have we got? Anthony, missed my daily dose of knowledge. Hello from GCFX Radio in Jacksonville, Florida, USA. Ravigo is in from Italy as usual. Lovely to have you there. And what else have we got here? David is watching from Adelaide in Australia. Hardy's Tylers, it's time for a new session, absolutely. And what else have we got? Best part of live is, yeah, audio going wrong. But sounding good now, says Mr. Photographics from Southend-on-Sea. So, yeah, Caddo, I was definitely cloned today for that little intro video. Mr. Mega Radio UK says, good afternoon, Mike. That is the voice for Google Talk. Yes, it is Google Text-to-Speech used on things like Google Home and the Google Assistant, and when you get driving directions and such like. Caddo's wondering if my sampling rate has changed. That's actually a very good question. Let's have a look at, I use a Sapphire Mix Control, and yes, it's at 44.1 kilohertz. This is a little app that I install with a Mac, and it kind of sorts out all my inputs and outputs. But I was recording in 48,000 hertz, which might explain why we had the problem with quality there, because I was trying to play a 48,000 hertz file, and you're watching probably in 44.1 hertz. So that might be 44.1 kilohertz even. So interesting there. What else have we got? This would work if you were doing a PSA sweep emulating some of those new electronic devices that has a voice. Yes, very interesting. Hi, Mike. Today I replayed your stream from 2 nights ago to my girls 8 and 10 who were excited seeing my name and you saying it. Well, it's my pleasure, David, and I'm pleased to hear that. Paul is watching from Knoxville, Tennessee. Still hasn't figured out Super Chat. Please help. Paul, really would appreciate that. That's very kind of you. If you are chatting away in YouTube at youtube.com/musicradiocreative, underneath where you type things in, there is an emoticon symbol, emoji symbol, and next to that there should be a $ symbol as well, which says Super Chat. If you click that, you have the opportunity to donate a dollar amount to help support these live shows, and I really would appreciate that as well. And Kazlia Vlog says subscribe. Absolutely, subscribing is always important. Now, let's drop some speech into our new multi-track that I'm going to create. text-to-speech jingles. And let's see what we've got. So we've got this one here, and we've got a little recording that I did earlier on, which is over here.
The best hits.
So obviously you can hear there's a lot of difference in audio quality, but now I'm putting it into my Adobe Audition presets here. I should be able to hopefully make this sound a little bit better.
Playing Power Hits. A non-stop music mix. On Power FM.
That's so interesting, isn't it? But we can try and image that up and make it sound good. Let's go for one of these imaging ramps and drag that in and see exactly what we can do. So first of all, I'm going to match the loudness levels of all of these so that I can get some interesting effects going on here. Tom, by the way, is watching and logged on from Oxfordshire. It's great to see you there. We've got Marseille watching from Ghana. Hey, nice to have you there. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. So now if I select all of my waveforms and right-click, match the clip loudness, click OK. So we get them all to a reasonable level, and now we should be able to do some mixing.
Playing Power Hits.
Okay, there's some interesting stuff going on here, but we can still have some fun with this. So let's try and drag this out.
Playing.
Okay, so this is all text-to-speech, by the way. It's the rules today. No voiceovers allowed. It all has to be imaging with text-to-speech, and we're going to see exactly how this turns out. I'm going to do a stutter jitter effect here at the start and see how that sounds with this effect. So boom that all in, and if I need stuff, I can just hop over to my text-to-speech synthesizers and use them up. And actually, in a moment, I'll show you how Adobe Audition works, because there's a generate speech option here. Oh, I love that.
Playing Power Hits.
Okay, power hits. What we really need is a butch, bulky voice saying power hits. But remember, I can't use a voiceover artist to do this, so I'm going to need to start a new file and go into Effects and generate speech. There it is. This is only available in the CC version of Adobe Audition, by the way. So you need Adobe Audition CC, preferably the latest version, which is 2017. And by the way, I'm not getting any feedback on it at the moment, so I assume it's okay. Isabella, if you could confirm in the chat, is my audio and everything, is it working okay now? If somebody could just confirm that my audio is sounding okay, because we had a little problem at the start. I tried to do something rather clever with a video clip, but yeah, the computer wasn't having it today. So, speech. Right, okay, let's type in power hits. I'm going to do it all in capitals as well and see just how this turns out. So,
Get more radio.
No, we don't want that.
Power hits.
Power hits, and of course we've got a German voice from Germany. Let's go from English, United States.
Power hits.
Power hits. And again, we've got a few dials here in Adobe Audition to change things. Thank you, Isabella. Appreciate that. And Cato as well. And Mr. Photographics. Good that the audio is back to normal. So let's listen to the males here.
Power hits. Power hits.
That's Alex and his Fred.
Power
hits.
Oh, that's the one I wanted.
Power hits.
Now, you know what this reminds me of? Push Me. Hang on. It's that Benny Benassi track. Hang on. Benny Benassi. I'm just going to bring up the lyrics because it is exactly the text-to-speech synthesis that Benny Benassi used.
Power hits. Power hits. Push me and then just touch me till I can get my satisfaction.
Obviously, they had a different setting on that, so let me just generate that power hits because that sounds good, and we'll start a new file. So this is a good point to show you how we could use generate to speech and try and get it to sound like Benny Benassi. Do you remember that satisfaction track? Anyone in the chat today remember that track, or is it just me? Am I an old retro dance guy from the 2000s? Huh? Let's try this out.
Power hit. Push me.
For some reason, it takes a while to refresh.
Push me. And then just touch me till I can get my
till I can get my ... I think, satisfaction.
Push me, and then just touch me till I can get my satisfaction. Push me.
That's cool. Now, as you can see, there's a volume slider here, which obviously it does what it says. It's like if you turn it right the way down, you're not going to hear anything, and if you turn it up, you're going to hear everything. By the way, here's the preview window so we can see what's happening. Words per minute, I can actually take this down a little bit to 150. That should slow it down a bit more. Let's wait for that to render out, and hopefully we should see it here. Play.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction.
We could probably take that down a little bit more, so let's go down to 140 words per minute.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction.
I'm going to use that, I think, later on, because that's a pretty cool sample. So let's bring all of this in, and we're, like I say, we're going to have a play. This is text-to-speech audio. In a moment, in 5 minutes, I'll get back to your chat comments. If you've got any questions, post them up now, wherever you're watching live. If you're listening on demand to the podcast at mrc.fm/podcast, you can always hop over to our site with the archives at producer.musicradiocreative.com and leave a comment there.
Power hits.
Well, that sounds great, doesn't it? So we got so far all text-to-speech.
Playing power hits.
Power hits.
That sounds really good, doesn't it? But we want to get that on the beat and probably match the clip loudness, so we turn it up a little bit.
Power hits.
And that's on beat as well. We've got that on beat, the echo.
Power hits.
Power hits.
So, you know, you can produce all of these great sounds inside Adobe Audition CC. This one.
Power hit. Power hits.
That was created inside Adobe Audition's Generate Speech facility. So, what I want to do is just have a little play with the echo in my effects rack. So let's bring that up and make this a little bit louder, because I think that's very complimentary.
Power hits.
Too much, I think. Let's bring it down again.
Power hits.
So let's listen now.
Playing power hits.
Power hits.
And then we're going to come in here with another liner from our Amazon Poli dude.
A non-stop music mix.
The non-stop music mix, and obviously I'm using my Adobe Audition presets to do this really quickly, but if you want, once you've got everything all slotted in here to the effects rack, you can have a further play with things, like, for instance, I might want to put some phasing on this, I think, some of the phaser, I think. So let me just screen zoom for a second, and then you can see exactly what is happening with my phaser as I dial it about. So here I've got this audio playing now.
A non-stop music mix.
Nothing much happening at the moment, so let's go up for Magic Feather.
A non-stop music mix.
So that's quite squeaky. Let's solo that and listen to it on its own.
A non-stop music mix. A non-stop.
Okay, what about this one?
A non-stop music mix. A non-stop music mix.
Megaplexor, over and under.
A non-stop music mix.
That sounds quite cool, doesn't it? Intensity, turn it down.
A non-stop music.
And we lose that serious sound.
A non-stop music mix.
Now we get that kind of sweepy sound. Can you hear that going left to right?
A non-stop music mix.
Isabella, you can link to Twitch if you know the Twitch, twitch.tv/musicradiocreative in the chat if anybody wants to know about Twitch. It's a new platform for us.
A non-stop music mix.
But it seems to be working rather well. I enjoy it whenever I get some viewers over on Twitch.
A non-stop music mix.
And let's try this.
A non-stop music mix.
And then
a non-stop music mix.
We're going to keep that high, and I think that's all sounding rather good now. So now we've got something that sounds like this. Oh, hang on, let's switch that off solo.
Playing power hits.
Power hits.
A non-stop music mix.
And then we're going to end it off with this.
X on power F. M. X on power F.
F. He says F far too slowly, and the M far too quickly. Let's do a bit of time stretching there.
On power F, M. 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 On power F, M.
There we go.
Music mix on power FM.
And you know what I'm going to do? Yes, a little bit of bending, because it's just called for here. So I just started a new file so I can destructively edit this without affecting the original. Oh, no, we don't want pitch shifter. Effects, time and pitch bender. No, that's not the way we want to go. We want to do something like this. Ooh, no. Let's move that up there and that down there. And I wonder if we can do spline curves, which kind of gives that smooth look. Now we've got... That'll do. There we go. Drag in Untitled 5 and try that out.
On Power FM. On Power FM.
Okay, cool. So this is all text-to-speech, and I've had another idea. Let's just play that all now.
Playing Power Hits.
Power hits.
A non-stop music mix on Power FM.
So what I'm showing you here basically with text-to-speech is how you can easily use your own text-to-speech and create a set of idents. They're obviously not going to have the inflection and the passion and the gravitas of using a real voiceover artist. But it's very, very possible now with Adobe Audition and many of the text-to-speech options out there. Going to do a little bit more to that in a second. But first of all, it is halfway through the show. I like to mention your comments every 15 minutes on the show. And we've got Marseille saying, audio is good, man. Tom Wilson on Facebook Live saying, hi, Mike. Only 6 out of the 13 presets work in CS6. Oh no! Yes, they are specifically created for Adobe Audition CC, but the good news is, while we don't support other versions of Adobe Audition, because of course Adobe Audition CC has had a lot of new features introduced, and you will find a problem usually with effects graying out and things like that. But included in the download package, you should have, if you place an order for the presets, you should find that there are screenshots included as well. Something that I don't actually mention, you actually get all the screenshots when you order the presets that I use and I'm using right now to produce in Adobe Audition. If you're a voice artist, if you're an audio producer, podcaster, somebody who just wants to make audio sound great, these are the presets for you. The presets I use to make audio sound great. As well as getting the Adobe Audition CC session.sesx file, you get 12 video tutorials describing how all the presets work. But also, Tom, you should find screenshots included. If you haven't got them, make sure to reach out to us and we'll get them over to you. But I basically screen capture every single preset and I show you exactly where the dials are. So if you happen to have some of the effects missing or grayed out, you can just go in, add them yourself, and then set that up in no time and get it working with your version of Audition. But like I say, Audition CC Creative Cloud only supported, may work on CS6, CS 5.5, can't guarantee it. Definitely won't on version 3 because they used a whole different .ses file, didn't they, for that? So there you go. Thanks, Isabella, for posting in the comments. So now on Facebook Live. By the way, I appreciate you on Twitch. Hello, hello, welcome to the stream. It's lovely to have some Twitch viewers. So if you're in Twitch, say hello. I can see Oz Sam Rav is there. Hi, dude. Hey, that's awesome. I'm going to say hello there to you on Twitch because I think that's really rather awesome. Right now we've got what have we got? David Lewis still can't work out getting some of track times in Adobe Bridge, but talking to Caddo there, because I know Caddo was talking about that in the chat yesterday on the show. Ravigo, another text-to-speech software, is Loquendo, to be installed on your PC, not an online service. It is considered one of the world's leader in the sector. Hey, Loquendo, really? That sounds really interesting and intriguing. What have we got here? It says it is a help speech self-service application. Oh, goodness me. Is that what we're looking at? Yeah, I think it is. Let's just drag this into view now. I'll pop that over here. Thanks for the suggestion here. So, yeah, it's rather hard to see how I might get started with this from their website. It seems to be aimed at small businesses who think big. Powerful automatic speech recognition and text-to-speech technologies to help your speech self-service applications contain costs without sacrificing customer experience. It's a shame that I can't visibly see a kind of demonstration of this. Otherwise, I would try it out live. But thank you nonetheless for the suggestion. Yandex is another one I was looking at earlier. It's got this speech kit for developers, and you can use this in your apps, or I assume if you get an API key and you know a little bit about code, you could probably drag out WAV or MP3 files from Yandex. They're at yandex.com, yandex.com. I have had a look at this, and I think it would be fairly easy to get started. They say all you need to do is read their terms of use, then you need to send them an email to get an API key. I'm not sure how long that approval process takes, and then you just read their documentation. Again, for developers, speech synthesis here. This is rather a deep dive. They currently do Russian, English, Ukrainian, and Turkish, so it could be good if you're in one of those languages in particular. Hey, nice. David remembers that Push Me, that track I was talking about earlier. Yes, absolutely. This one. Let's find it again. This one.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction.
So, Elok Sale, thank you for the suggestion about streaming on Twitch. We already do that, as I've just mentioned, which is awesome to have you there. Mega Radio UK, I believe the 4.5 synthesizer is a shame you cannot use the vocalizer synth on Mac to create voiceovers. Yeah, that's interesting. There is like a couple of vocal synths inside Logic Pro X, I know. Centra is watching from Houston, and Only You says, hello Mike, so glad to see you again on your live stream. Success from Danny, Indonesia. Danny in Indonesia. Wonderful to have you there, Danny. And by the way, you can join us every single day at this time on the live stream between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. UK time, whatever that is in your local time zone. Before we get back to the production, did want to show you a couple of other text-to-speech clients I've found online. Obviously, we have got the Google. I'm using Google Translate to access the text-to-speech, but I believe they have an app for it on Android, and you can probably do something with the API in Google Assistant to get access to Google voiceovers. Amazon Poli is the paid-for service from Amazon Web Services. It's rather good, though. Let's try another voice. We've got English. We've got a Welsh voice. Let's have a listen to it in Welsh.
Playing power hits, a non-stop music mix, on Power FM.
Nice, very good. And you can go into French Canadian, into German, all of these different languages. Polish there, so now I'll need to try some Polish. Isabella, can you type something in Polish into the chat so I can copy and paste it? Because my Polish probably goes as far as, well, typing things. Well, let's try that.
Tak.
Tak, tak. That's very nice.
Tak.
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 Isabella, if you could type in maybe a script for a jingle in Polish, it would be awesome to use a Polish text-to-speech voice. If you're able to do that, it would be amazing. So we've also got the Mary web client, which is a funny URL for this one. I'll post this one in the chat on youtube.com/musicradiocreative. But this one, let's try this one out. Mary text-to-speech, Power Hits, Power F. Oh, what are we doing here? Power FM. And we will speak it.
Power Hits. Power FM.
Yeah, it's a little bit jumpy there. And quiet. Let's go for another one. Let's go for this one.
Power Hits. Power FM.
And what about the female?
Power Hits.
No, that's not a female. Let's
Power
try
Hits. Power FM.
Interesting.
Power Hits. Power FM.
What does this apply pro-SODI modification mean? Let's try that.
Power Hits. Power FM.
Gosh, we're getting some really interesting results from this, aren't we? Let's try this one.
Power Hits. Power FM.
Very interesting. We play the best music all day long. Let's try that.
We play the best music all day long.
Interesting. Let's go back to this one.
We play the best music all day long.
That's quite good. I'm going to download the WAV file of that and see what the sample rates are on that. Doesn't seem to be downloading. Oh, they do AIFF files and AU files as well, which is very interesting. Show audio effects. Wow. So you can, oh my goodness, you can do all kinds of different settings here. You've got like robot, whisper, stadium, chorus. This is amazing. So this Mary web client, definitely something worth considering checking out. Save audio file. Let's try that.
We play the best music all day long.
Let's save that. And why is it saving as process? That's very strange. Let's call it Mary TTS1.wav and see whether it'll import into Audition. Let's try. And it does. Look at that. Oh dear, this is much worse than Amazon Poli. This is at 16,000 hertz. Mono, it's a 16-bit waveform. At least it's a waveform, but the audio quality, again, not too good. That's the downside with text-to-speech. We need high-quality rendered text-to-speech, I think.
We play the best music all day long.
Okay. I'm just going to copy this one over from, let's get this one from Caddo now. Yes, this would be perfect for the national rail system in the United Kingdom. Oh, copy and pasted the URL instead. Let's try this. Copy and paste. I should know that command by now. Copy and paste. Command C, Command V. There we go. Let's have a listen to it in GB Mail.
Welcome to the world of speech synthesis.
No, that's not what we want. We want this.
We'd like to apologize to our passengers. It must be awful for you.
And let's have a mess with these audio effects and see what happens if I take the robot down to 50% here and speak that.
We'd like to apologize to our passengers. It must be awful for you.
That's interesting. I can't hear a noticeable difference. Or maybe if I tick it. Let's try that now.
We'd like to apologize to our passengers. It must be awful for you.
That's so cool. 100. Let's try that.
We'd like to apologize to our passengers. It must be awful for you.
And what about the whisper? Let's try that effect.
We'd like to apologize to our passengers. It must be awful for you.
That's cool. I'm going to use that and I'm going to say power FM because that's quite a funky effect. So as you can see, with these text-to-speech
power FM.
You can create all kinds of effects right out the box. That might be good to loop up. So Mary TTS2.wav. I like the fact that you can save WAV files from Mary TTS and AIFF. I'm very impressed by that. So let's leave that alone for the moment. Getting back to your comments in a few minutes from now, by the way. So thank you for those. We've got VoiceRSS. This is another one. Power FM. The #1 hit music station. And let's speak that.
Power Field Marshall. The #1 hit music station.
Power Field Marshall? Where did it get that from? Let's try dots between the F and the M.
Power F. M. The #1 hit music station.
So this is a site called voicerss.org that I'm using. English Indian accent.
Power F. M. The #1 hit music station.
And the quality on that sounds a lot less than the other one I was using. Let's try United States.
Power F. M. The #1 hit music station.
I quite like the way she said the #1 hit music station. So let's record that in.
Power F. M. The #1 hit music station.
And let's go for an Australian.
Power F. M. The #1 hit music station.
And finally, we've got a little bit of text here from Isabella in Polish. So let's just have a listen to how the Polish text-to-speech sounds like from Amazon Poli.
Gramy najlepsza muzykę. 24 godziny na dobę.
Now I've got to say, that sounds like a real person to me. Let's try Jan.
Gramy najlepsza muzykę. 24 godziny na dobę.
Wow, this is awesome.
Gramy najlepsza muzykę. 24 godziny na dobę.
Lovely. And this one?
Gramy najlepsza muzykę. 24 godziny na dobę.
Gosh, those Polish text-to-speech synthesizers sound amazing. Amazon Poli. Yeah, for me, out of the lot of them for audio production, it has to be between Amazon Poli, Mary text-to-speech, although the sample rate is lower, they throw out WAV files, which is quite nice, and also Adobe Audition's native generate speech, because you can do things like this.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction.
Or you can do something like music, radio, creative, and have Fred, the English male, say it in a really funny way.
Music, radio, creative.
Oh, I love that. That's such a good... I could definitely use that somewhere.
Music, radio, creative.
So we'll get into the multi-track and do a final 15 minutes of audio production with these new wonderful text-to-speech clips that I've got. Let's drag those in, but first back to the chat and make sure we get in the Mary text-to-speech as well. I wanted some of that. Awesome. So what have we got here? We have got ePrimify saying nice. So that was Polish, yes. It's Polish. We play the best music 24 hours a day. That's another good one to do. Anthony Hall is happy. Why not use the Windows 95 website and use their text-to-speech app, then record through stereo mix? The Windows 95 website. Oh, I'm not aware of that. Tell me more. Really interesting tutorial, says Mr. Mega Radio UK. Thank you very much. Oh, let's use Cado's idea here to get another one. Here we go. Over into Amazon Poli, and we'll go for English Indian. Have a listen to this.
Hitting the hotspots with Russell Holidays.
Well, that's a much better English Indian accent than we found over on VoiceRSS. What else have we got? Dutch. They usually speak with an English accent, don't they?
Hitting the hotspots with Russell Holidays.
Very nice indeed. Isabella liked the female Polish speaker, which is very, very cool indeed. And over on Facebook Live, lovely to have you watching on Facebook Live. What do we got here? John is watching. Howdy from Hobart in Australia. Ash is going ha at the Aussie accent. Yeah, the Aussie accent from VoiceRSS wasn't too good, was it? Ash is logged in from Western Australia right now. So absolutely wonderful to have you there. Right, okay, let's see what we're going to do with the rest of this text-to-speech now. So let's just play what I've got so far, and we'll see what we can do with this.
Playing Power Hits.
Power Hits.
A non-stop music mix on Power FM.
And I think we're going to drag in this other one that I threw out of Mary TTS. Let's have a listen to it. See if I can get it to play.
Power FM.
That's interesting, isn't it? So let's move that in. Power FM. Sounds like a kind of half-dead zombie, really. Let's have a listen.
Music mix on Power FM.
Power FM. Might need to time stretch it a bit to sync it up.
Mix on Power FM.
Interesting. Kind of overpowers things a little bit, though. Let's stretch that right down and maybe take the audio levels down on it. Here we go. Let's have a listen now.
Mix on Power FM.
That's a cool little ending effect, isn't it? What else have we got over here? Let's have a listen to this.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction.
And this?
Power FM. The #1 hit music station.
So let's have a play with this. We'll go in and grab some nice effects. Let's put that over there, that over there. I'm going to throw in just a few different effects now and see if we can make something nice. This one, and we'll go for a riser as well. Okie dokie, cool stuff. And then we're going to select the vocal tracks as well, match the loudness of all of those, and then have a little play with this. I might actually have a go at using some of the Essential Sound panel, which is up behind your comments, to have a little play with this as well. So what have we got here?
Power F. Power FM.
And let's do some sort of pitching on this as well. Pull that in and switch on the effects rack pitch shifter. Drop down the automation envelopes, turn that to read. And we want to go to pitch shifter. Let's do something like this. Whoops. Let's do something like this. Make it sound good. There we go. Let's have a listen.
Power FM.
Oh, that's weird.
Power FM.
So we maybe need to move this back a bit. And maybe move this down a little bit.
Power FM. Power FM.
Move this back a little bit more.
Power FM.
Maybe move this in a little bit. Have a listen to
Power FM. Power FM.
That's interesting. Maybe the volume on the pitch shift is a little too high. So ePrimify is suggesting Windows 93.net. I've never heard of this.
Power FM.
That's so interesting. All-in-One Movie is talking about Voco, a new feature for Audition, but I'm sure you know that. It's pretty cool because you can edit your voice by editing text Audition recognizes. Yes, actually, that is a very, very cool point there. Adobe Voco is something that is, it's not even in alpha or beta yet. It's kind of going on behind the scenes. And Adobe are creating a fascinating piece of, well, software eventually it will be, whereby you can play around 20 minutes of your voice into this software. And after only 20 minutes of your voice, you're supposed to be able to generate anything, like make that voice say anything you want it to. It was, I think, premiered last year on stage at the Adobe Max conference, and they didn't really say that much about it. They didn't even say that it's going to be integrated into Adobe Audition yet. So we just don't know is the answer right now. Hopefully, I mean, it would be logical that it would be a feature in Adobe Audition once it comes into even beta testing. But for now, it seems like that feature, as exciting as it is quite a long way away, but a very nice thing to talk about at this juncture in the show. So what have we got here right now? We have got something like this.
Power FM, the #1 hit music station.
So interesting stuff we can do here, obviously, by bringing in a few different effects. And play.
Power FM, the #1 hit music station.
And maybe bring that riser in a little bit so we can end it at the end there. And you can have so much fun with text-to-speech in a very quick time.
Power FM, the #1 hit music station.
So you can do stuff like that. What else have I got in my text-to-speech bank? Let's have a look here. I do like this Music Radio Creative. I do want to do something with that. So let's see if we can make something a little funky with this Music Radio Creative. So we want something like this, and we want something like this. And we're going to just copy and paste all of that together, like so. Let's see what we got.
Music Radio Creative.
That's quite nice, isn't it? And we could... actually, now I'm getting some ideas here. What if we pop on another thing into the effects rack, like one of my favorite vocal plugins, the Isotope Vocal Synth? So something that's already very synthesized. What happens if we double synthesize it? That's my question. Let's start with the dry output and have a listen to how it sounds.
Music Radio Creative.
And now I'm going to whack up the CompuVox and have a listen to it now.
Music Radio Creative.
And we can do stuff like this. Let's turn this up.
Music Radio Creative.
And let's change the sound here.
Music Radio Creative.
I really like the fact that it's got some kind of dirty kind of computer sound in the background. Listen to it.
Music Radio Creative.
That's dry, and then if we go for just the wet,
Music Radio Creative.
you can do some really, really cool stuff. Faulty joints, let's have a listen to how that sounds.
Music Radio Creative.
And we can bring that into the mix with maybe another effect. Let's try the vocoder on this.
Music Radio Creative.
Not really having too much of an effect. It's already sounds vocoded enough. We could go for our talk box over here. Let's switch that on and give that a go. Let's have a listen to how this sounds.
Music Radio.
Bass grater. We can go for something else and listen.
Music Radio Creative.
And of course, there are other effects here in this isotope vocal synth I really like. For instance, distortion and transforming.
Music Radio Creative.
And then bring the computer back in, and we've got something like this.
Music Radio Creative.
And I added some delay on as well, even a little bit of shred as well, and we get something like this.
Music Radio Creative.
Goes very dreamy and out there, doesn't it? So lots you can do by manipulating text-to-speech. We're in the final 5 minutes of the show, so as you can see, totally possible to make some jingles.
Playing Power Hits.
Power Hits.
The non-stop music mix on Power FM.
Stuff like that, and this.
Push me, and then just touch me, till I can get my satisfaction.
And this as well.
Power FM, the #1 music station.
Oh, of course, I did something funny with that, with the isotope vocal synth. So let's try and bring it back to a reasonable level and have a listen to this.
Power FM, the #1 hit music station.
And stuff like this. Music Radio Creative.
Music Radio Creative.
So there you go. As you can see, I have demonstrated the different text-to-speech options available. Google's text-to-speech Goliath there. I just used translate.google.com to do that. Amazon Poli lets you listen to speech from various different languages and regions, and you have to sign up to Amazon Web Services for that, but it's well worth checking out. You can download an MP3, and from my tests, this was actually the best quality audio that I came across. Mary sends out a little less in terms of audio sample rate quality, but it does send you nice WAV files or AIFF files if you like. There's also VoiceRSS, which is worth trying out, and Yandex, you need to be a developer and sign up for an API key to get access to that one. Some other good suggestions in the chat today. We had all sorts coming in, so thank you for that. Thank you, Ravigo55, for your suggestion, and also ePrimify as well. Let's do a few final shout-outs in the show, and just before we go, of course, remember the Adobe Audition presets that I was using in this session. You can buy them online right now at mrc.fm/presets and make your audio sound great with the exact template I use, plus 12 video tutorials to get you up and running with that. Hi to Wissam, who's watching from Dubai right now. We got Ash Styles. What sample pack are you using for radio effects? We actually sell them all here at musicradiocreative.com. And there's been a super chat, hey, from Paul Orr. Thank you so much, Paul, for that wonderful super chat up there above my head. I really appreciate you doing that. Thank you for supporting the show. Very, very kind of you. So if you want to get hold of any imaging effects that we use here at Music Radio Creative, hop on to musicradiocreative.com, explore the radio section, go to instant downloads, SFX and music, and you'll see right there loads of different packs. You can buy different volumes, you can buy Christmas work parts, country work parts. There are smaller packages as well for starters. We got the full production library, that's all of our sound effects and stuff for Halloween as well, all right there at musicradiocreative.com. What else have we got here in the chat the last couple of minutes? So yeah, Windows93.net ePrimify is suggesting. I haven't tried that one. I have to look into it. We got Yan Wei, who's watching all the way from China right now. Briteco9 is in there as well. Sorry if I don't get to your comment. I try to get through as many as I possibly can in the show. Lakiko is watching and saying hello, so it's nice to have had you there today. And Gameplay Magic is in from Southampton in the United Kingdom as well. I hope that you have had an enjoyable session today. Remember to schedule this into your diary every single weekday, Monday to Friday. You can join me here for a live stream from 2 to 3 p.m. UK time. I will show you actually right here where you need to go to get all the updates. Just go to youtube.com/musicradiocreative. That is youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Actually, I'm posting that in the YouTube comments, which is kind of a bit meta because you're already here. You're already here, aren't you? So maybe I need to go over and post that link over at the Facebook Live comments, because I can see a few of you are watching there. So for those of you on Facebook Live who are not subscribed, head over to the link that I've just posted up there at youtube.com/musicradiocreative. Give the subscribe button a nice click there. Obviously, I can't subscribe to myself, so I can't demo. But then here on the welcome page, you will see all the upcoming live streams. And if you would just click set reminder on all of them, I would really appreciate it. And also that means you're going to get notified every time I go live. And these dates and times will show in your local time region, which is fantastic and helpful as well. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Tomorrow, we're going into Adobe After Effects to generate a rather nice moving audio spectrum on the screen. I'll speak to you then.